This is the Conscious Hour. I'm watching Electronic Intifada with Jeremy Scahill. This one's a good reality check.
I know I'm not telling you anything that you don't already know or haven't covered more extensively and better than I have, but I think it always bears repeating. Armed Palestinian resistance groups are national liberation movements. They are armed factions of a national liberation movement. And that doesn't mean you can't debate tactics, but that point needs to be clearly stated as a indisputable fact. And there has been a 70-year-long campaign that has been very effective to put Palestinians in a category of their own, that when Palestinians use force to try to defend themselves or assert their rights, that they are designated as terrorists. That's why U.S. terror laws are rooted in going after people that support Palestine and Palestinians themselves. And the right of armed resistance is a right that all people in the world have to confront occupation, to confront apartheid. So, the starting point for this, with anyone who's serious and knows anything about history, has to be Palestinians have a right to defend themselves against this colonial apartheid occupation regime. Where it gets where it sort of gets problematic when the U.S. and Israel are in the equation, and even some of these Arab Gulf states that are involved with this, or with Egypt, is that they're also adopting that framework to describe Palestinians or to designate their armed resistance as terrorism. If the Palestinians were to agree to any terms of disarmament, it would be the end of the cause of Palestine. It's a fact. So, when people say, well, why doesn't Hamas just lay down its arms? It's not about Hamas laying down its arms. Hamas has said that they don't need to be the governing authority at all in Gaza anymore. Hamas said they want a day when they aren't a resistance movement anymore, when there is a Palestinian state that is respected in the world, that its rights are respected the same way as others. And I think that they feel that they have a national responsibility not to surrender the cause of Palestinian liberation. And I think that they're sincere when they say that. So they've identified only a couple of red lines. One of them is we will not agree to disarm the Palestinian resistance. We will not agree to a demilitarization of the Gaza Strip. Another is we will not engage in an agreement that doesn't have a clear path to end the genocide and a full occupation, end to the Israeli occupation forces being present in Gaza. And other than that, they've tried to make concessions. They've tried to meet mediators halfway. Israel is the one with the maximalist agenda. Israel is the one that says we're going to implement Trump's plan and get rid of all Palestinians from Gaza. So, history is so upside down. I mean, on this stream, it's not. But in much of the discourse, the history is completely upside down as to who the aggressor is, who the terror state is, who's the obstructionist, who's the maximalist agenda. It's entirely Israel.
Jeremy, just as a sort of a final.
So who's the problem? This is the Conscious Hour. It's Greed the Machine. It's a Zionist agenda. Remember one thing. Zionism affected Great Britain in the 1750s drastically. United States, about 1850 on. This Zionist agenda, the banker agenda, we'll call it, it's the devil, literally. It's what the only word you can use for it is the devil. And it has all these different aspects that it shows, like greedy, rude, judgmental, all these pieces where people are like attacking each other. Judging is judge not thy fellow man. That's one of the most important words ever said. Besides, love your neighbor like you love yourself. That's hard for people to do. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not judge. But we're right at this moment, folks. In this moment in time, we're on the edge. We can literally destroy the world because Netanyahu, who has shown truly who he is, homicidal, genocidal maniac, has nuclear weapons. And he could decide that if he's going out, he's going to take everybody with him. Because then he knows one thing. oh yes, some will survive, but the Zionist agenda can go on and we can eventually build our beautiful Greater Israel project while the world has gone into disaster because we can't stop playing the game of greed the machine, monopoly on steroids. So what do you want it to be, folks? My name is Gregory Lee Francis Agnetti DeBruler, and I'm here to serve. Conscious Hour was created in 21, trademarked it, but it was my symphony. I'm the conductor. Had to get to a point in time where I took all my skills that I did when I walked to the doors of the Department of Energy and EPA and showed them how to make decisions and come to consensus, and how you can find consensus in people, which then creates great solutions. Governors know me, heads of corporations know who I am. Hanford definitely knows who I am. CIA knows who I am. Mossad knows who I am. I even got a call from one of the highest guys up in the Mossad on December 8th. So, it's time for heaven on earth, folks. It's time for heaven on earth. That's it. Or we can go down this road, what Jeremy just said, and just finish the chapter. Yeah, World War. And watching Electronic Intifada, which is a great, fantastic group of people. They really are. The looks in their eyes and the worry, and that's where I'm at. I'm so worried that we can't stop this ship. But we can. We can do it real quickly too. So this is the Conscious Hour. What I want you to do is I will talk about things. I'll bring solutions together. I bring people on to do one thing: identify a problem, create the solution, roll it out. And we need to do that right now. I'm the conductor. So that conversation has to happen. And the Conscious Hour idea was formed because if it became a channel where we could all talk about this higher consciousness called the Conscious Hour, the collective consciousness coming together, then that format will go viral, because every other person out here with all of their, we'll call it other stations, can tune into that one common theme, which is the Conscious Hour. So we take that, what we've just seen, we roll out the plan, and we do it with everything, and we do it quickly. It's not hard to do. It's just a matter of shifting the mode of operation we're in, which is a 1.0, and shifting to 3.0. Because 2.0 is like their ceasefires. They've been having ceasefires since Anthony Blinken. And so, I look at this stuff at high level, and these people report it on the ground, which is fantastic. But I look at it from like looking down from heaven, looking down and going, wait a second, they're just moving it a little bit. The bigger picture is they still have that agenda. And you have to cut that agenda off and make them realize that they will still have their power in their minds, whatever, or wealth, if we have a global economy that has nothing to do with war. Imagine that. Nothing. We don't need the military-industrial complex. So the higher level discussion is, how do we get out of this one? Really important. Muy importante. Very, very important. But most of all, if we create the vision of how we're out of it and what that new world order looks like, then we can rapidly accelerate into that reboot 3.0. Because if you go to 2, you're still in the debating, in the advisory board, in the discussion. Well, we want this way and that way. No. It isn't opinions. It's simply solution based. You have a solution, you roll it out. You bring it on the conscious side. You say, here's a solution. We go, fuck yeah, do it, man. Let's make it happen. It's not hard to create solutions. The hard part is breaking the control of these egomaniacs who don't even know that their actions have led to this destruction in this point in time. I mean, eventually we had to get to a point in time where we could blow the whole fucking world up. Because maybe that's the reality check that they need. A thermonuclear war. You want winter, you'll have it for a long time. But I don't. I want sunshine, warm air, and a good time for everybody on planet Earth. So let's make it happen. Okay? Let's make it happen. It's no big deal. I'm the conductor. That's who I am. And you can ask anybody that knows me. They know I know what I do. I come up with solutions. Start the conversation. And then you got all these minds around you. You go, wow, what if we just took this and this and this and, oh, look, that'd work for everybody, wouldn't it? Yeah, that's what I do. Peace and love, world. Spread the word. It's our conscious hour. Don't ever forget that.